Good morning, Grand Ecosystem. Good morning, subscribers of all grants in Nigeria. Good morning, the coordinators of Pioneer Program in Nigeria. Good morning, all stakeholders of Pioneer Project in Nigeria, basically called the Community Development Project. My name is Reverend Moses from Abuja. This morning, I come your way, Nigerians, the international community, the caring President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump, who have seen the plight of the ordinary citizens of Nigeria and have risen to the responsibility of giving us a safe environment for us to stay. My dear President, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, his Vice President, Senator Kashim Ibrahim, and all stakeholders in Nigeria who are concerned with the plight of the common man on the streets of Nigeria. This morning, I listened with care to the voice note of my coordinator, Ambassador Mrs. Zita Wonsu, airing her views and her frustrations in the delays and the constant goalpost shift of disbursement of this expected grant in Nigeria. It is all known from all quarters of the grant ecosystem that the international communities, the IMF, the World Bank are involved in the disbursement of grants, not just in Nigeria, but in third world countries, to assist them to have a better life for their citizenry and encourage the manufacturing of basic goods for the consumption of humanities in those different countries. Nigeria is lucky to have been queued up for the same program which have started since 2016 to date. 9 to 10 years after the kickstarting of the issue of grants in Nigeria, no grant has disbursed a dime. The list of the excuses in grant ecosystem continue to build, from soon, sooner, next week, next month, giving excuses that are unwarranted. Grant ecosystem, from the frustration expressed by my humble coordinator, Mrs. Nwosu, this morning, and the responses gotten from the representative of the stakeholder, I want to say it was unwarranted, uncalled for, unnecessary, and very unacceptable. How can you give us a date that thought the government have agreed and the third will come with a sanction, and then on the third, Mrs. Ngozi Israel said something, the thing have started. There is nothing that was going to start apart from disbursement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to be taking voice notes and excuses, self-defense from our coordinators any longer. For Mrs. Nwosu to get a reply that the meeting last night or early hours of this morning was to decide on who should be paid first after correction. That excuse from the stakeholder that excuse from whosoever is concerned is an insult to the intellectual personalities in Nigeria. What does it take to start disbursement? That you have to come together to organize a meeting that you've been planning for 4 days, that the network is bad, only to come and discuss who are we going to start paying first. Nigerians, if we remain at this level to continue to receive different excuses from our stakeholders and our grand handlers, we will remain here and we will die here, God forbid. Our stakeholders have taken all Nigerians to be non-entities, people who don't know anything, because that excuse, with all sense of responsibility, I see it as unwarranted and I call it unacceptable. I want to appreciate our coordinators, Ambassador Mrs. Zita Nwosu, Pastor Donald Obase Okorie, Mrs. Ngozi Israel, Mrs. Amaka Eze, Reverend Samuel Elibo, to mention but a few. You have done your part and you are doing your part. But the stakeholders should be more responsible to their responsibilities. If, for instance, one Pastor Victor is their PA, is a PA to a stakeholder, and all of you are receiving information from only Victor, it shows we're in for a situation that is worse than anything. Because the stakeholders have never come out one day to address Nigerians, and Nigerians have put together millions of naira for their welfare and logistics and passed through one source called Victor to them. If they respect Nigerians and they feel Nigerians are worthwhile and they could hear their voice, at least they should nominate somebody who will come and address Nigerians. But if you feel Nigerians are nothing and nobody's, we don't have anybody in Nigeria, you can do and undo. You can just keep quiet and just put forward your PA called Victor. This one is calling Victor. That one is calling Victor. This one is calling Victor. How do we know whether Victor is telling us the truth? Even in governance in Nigeria, we have the executive and we have the legislators who serve as a watchdog to the executive. How can the stakeholder just maintain one mouthpiece called Victor and everything is hewn on him? How do we know whether Victor is saying the truth? Because so far, Nigerians are not satisfied with your answer and your excuses. Why is it that something must happen? Is the remaining small? One thing just happened. If not for this thing, one thing just happened. How about stakeholders? Well, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I remain Reverend Moses from Abuja, and I'm calling that we are going to start twisting in the next 48 hours. In the next 48 hours from now, from 48 hours from now, we are going to start twisting to the international community to inform them of what is going on in Nigeria again. In the next 48 hours, grand community, ladies and gentlemen, everybody should prepare your Twitter, your Instagram. We'll be crying to Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America. We're going to be crying to the Secretary General of the United Nations. We're going to be crying to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Director General of World Trade Center. We're going to be crying to the President of France, Mr. Macron. We're going to be crying to the EU President. We are going to be crying to the African Union presidents and officially telling them of the situation of Nigeria. The little money we have to eat, we've contributed and given to these stakeholders, and these stakeholders have refused to grant us this money. I don't believe it's the government that are doing it. If it is the government that are doing it, the stakeholders should come out and address us that it is the government. But whether it is the stakeholders that are responsible or the government that is responsible, all of them are equal. We are going to be crying to the international community again. Come to our rescue. Deliver Nigeria from the gruesome hands of our stakeholders and our government. In the next 48 hours, grand community, ladies and gentlemen, young men and women, get your data ready. We shall start twisting by 12 o'clock on Thursday. Thursday by 12 noon, we will start twisting to the international community to report what is going on, that we do not accept what is going on. We do not accept what is happening. Their excuses are not acceptable, and we will not take it. And we are going to be crying to the President of the United Nations, Secretary General of the United Nations, the President of the United States of America, to kindly come to our help once again in Nigeria. I greet you all and get yourself prepared for the next 48 hours reaction. Thank you very much, and God bless you. It is exactly 12:05, Tuesday, 11/2025. God bless you. Grand community, ladies and gentlemen, I am Reverend Moses from Abuja. I make a voice note just about 30 minutes ago, and I expressed a deep frustration of lack of disbursement in Nigeria. I went too far with my voice note calling on the international community to come and help us. I've just learned that all stakeholders are on it, and they're making all effort to bring disbursement to our table without my knowledge. I admit that I'm limited in knowledge. I admit that I'm limited in understanding, and I want to debunk and withdraw my voice note. Please, ladies and gentlemen, once again, take this voice note, let it go viral. I withdraw my earlier voice note, giving the 48 hours ultimatum to start tweeting to the international community, calling for our help. The situation of the country is so fragile. I am just made to understand that my voice note could cause harm rather than health. I do not mean to cause harm. I meant to bring healing and call for disbursement. But I didn't know, and my lack of knowledge should not be taken serious. I appreciate all of you. I want to debunk the information I sent earlier on, and I claim all responsibilities, and I'm sending a public apology to the grand ecosystem. Please let this second voice note supersede the earlier one, and let all Nigerians become and wait for disbursement coming on in a very short time. Thank you, and God bless. I remain Reverend Moses from Abuja. Please let this voice note supersede that one. This is to withdraw the earlier voice note sent across. Please let this voice note supersede that one. I withdraw my statement. I withdraw all my statement, and I apologize to the grand ecosystem, to the stakeholders, and to all that are concerned. Thank you very much. God bless you. I remain Reverend Moses from Abuja. This is 11:18 a.m. Thank you.